France's boldest gamble on Syria's new leadership faces scrutiny after an explosion rocked Damascus during Macron's visit. Macron visits post-Assad Syria as an explosion erupts near an area linked to his official stay, according to reports. An explosion reportedly struck near the hotel where French President Emmanuel Macron was scheduled to stay in Damascus. Reports say Macron had left his Damascus hotel roughly 15 minutes before the explosion occurred nearby. French President Emmanuel Macron arrived in Damascus on July 5 for the start of a two-day official visit to Syria. With the visit, Macron became the first European Union head of state to travel to Syria since Bashar al-Assad's fall in 2024. Macron held a private dinner with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa before visiting the historic Umayyad Mosque in Damascus. The two leaders toured the landmark Umayyad Mosque together following their evening meeting, according to Reuters. Al-Sharaa had previously traveled to Paris on his first visit to a European country after the ouster of Assad. The visit underscored Syria's changing geopolitical position under President Ahmed al-Sharaa after years of international isolation. France said Macron's visit is intended to support the reconstruction of what it described as a stable and sovereign Syria. The Elysee Palace said the trip would also help strengthen regional stability and deepen Europe or Middle East engagement. Al-Sharaa told BFM TV that closer cooperation with France could help revive Syria's agriculture, tourism, and financial sectors. The Syrian president also praised France for what he described as its constructive role during Syria's post-Assad transition. The West's rare Syria outreach after Assad's fall was marred by an explosion, as a diplomatic effort meant to signal engagement and reconstruction support was interrupted by a violent incident that underscored the fragile security environment facing foreign delegations. An explosion occurred near the hotel where French President Macron was meant to stay, raising immediate concerns about the safety of visiting officials and prompting a rapid security response to secure the area and assess any potential threats to the delegation. A huge explosion hit Damascus as Macron visited post-Assad Syria, an event that injected tension into an already sensitive trip and forced host authorities and security teams to quickly manage the political fallout and emergency response measures. An explosion in Damascus during Macron's landmark Syria visit highlighted the risks of conducting high-profile diplomacy in a volatile environment, with local and international actors monitoring whether the blast was targeted at the visit or a separate security failure. The French president's office declared Macron safe and said he would continue the visit, according to AP, a statement intended to reassure both domestic and international audiences that the itinerary and diplomatic objectives would proceed despite the incident. Macron didn't hear the explosions and met President al-Sharaa soon afterwards, a sequence that illustrates how tightly coordinated security protocols and resilient scheduling allowed the visit to move forward amid the disturbance. Macron was the first EU head of state to visit Syria since Assad's fall, making the trip a significant diplomatic milestone aimed at re-engaging Damascus even as the visit's timing and reception revealed the complex, unsettled nature of post-conflict reconciliation. Macron had left his Damascus hotel 15 minutes before the explosion, according to reports that noted the narrow window between his departure and the blast. Syria has officially denied any plans for intervention in Lebanon, calling the circulating reports completely untrue and politically motivated. Ahmed al-Sharaa has rejected allegations of any border escalation or military buildup along the frontier. From Damascus, officials are instead pushing a message of cooperation with Lebanon, rather than confrontation. Al-Sharaa has reiterated that Syria's position is focused on ending regional wars and promoting long-term stability across the region. Yet regional tensions continue to rise as long-standing border questions remain unresolved and politically sensitive. The Syria-Lebanon border itself remains one of the region's longest-standing unresolved boundary disputes, still awaiting a lasting settlement.
Regarding the issue of the border with Lebanon, as you know, Lebanon is currently going through a sensitive phase and is under pressure due to the war and so on, and this has a very significant impact on Syria and on the situation in Lebanon. Therefore, the issue of demarcating the border between us and Lebanon has been a pending problem since 1946, since Lebanon was founded, and there is a problem known as border demarcation. This is a difficult issue, and the Lebanese have spoken to us about it on more than one occasion. But we believe that there are priorities in the relationship between Syria and Lebanon because it was fundamentally built on the wrong foundations. There is a Lebanese grievance due to Syrian interventions and, conversely, a Syrian grievance due to Hezbollah's interventions in Syria. We have therefore decided to postpone discussion of this matter, particularly regarding the Shebaa farms, as part of them is in Israeli hands, whilst we and the Lebanese disagree over which side they belong to. Let one of us take them first, and then we can discuss the matter. There are many issues regarding the Syrian-Lebanese border, so we were afraid to enter into a discussion on the subject of border demarcation, as minor details such as these would come to light, overlapping villages, which would open new fronts of conflict between us. Whilst we are at a juncture where Lebanon is supposed to benefit from the new situation in Syria to further stabilize its position and to achieve economic integration, development, and certain reforms they require, which Syria is fully capable of providing. As for Syria's problems, God has been with us. There are those spreading rumors about Syrian interference in Lebanon and the like, and I believe that is also untrue. We are always calling for an end to the war, for the strengthening of institutions, and for economic integration.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.